A warm welcome to all of you on the other side of the screen. I am the Overly Positive Fanboy, and this is Overly Positive Reviews. Well, we had a lot of exciting things this past May, and this is what I thought of everything I managed to watch in that month.
What if it were me? I'd really want to be a giant woman, a giant woman. All I want to do is see you turn into a giant woman.
Okay, so what we have here is a bloody, sexy movie about two lesbians who take be gay, do crime a bit too seriously. In all seriousness, this is a pretty fun film, with Kristen Stewart and Katie O'Brien giving great performances as our leads, and everyone else is also pretty good in their roles too. And while it's probably not as graphic as how I made it sound in the beginning, it still has some moments that would definitely make viewers feel a bit squeamish, and it also gets very surreal at points. What more could you want? I do not have a nostalgic connection to the original X-Men cartoon, mainly because I was a bit busy not existing when it was on TV. But still, I spent the last month watching the entire thing just to prepare myself for the airing of X-Men 97. And boy, for all of you who actually grew up with that original show at the time, you have gotten one hell of a treat because X-Men 97 is awesome! I love the animation, somehow capturing that 90s cartoon charm, but with an updated modern look that just really makes the whole series look beautiful. I love the story, taking things in a more mature direction, but without any edgy adult cartoon nonsense. I love the character work, and really, seriously, this is just a really dang good series, and I definitely recommend this to X-Men fans of all generations, regardless of if you grew up with the original or not. Apple TV Plus's charming Fraggle Rock reboot returns for its second season, filled with all new episodes continuing the themes of cooperation, togetherness, environmental disasters, ecosystems thriving or faltering depending on such ecological disasters, and how many insignificant things can end up having big impacts on the world around you if you're not paying attention to it. The cast of Muppeteers are as game as always, and we end up getting another very fun watch. Whether we get any more seasons of Back to the Rock is uncertain, but if not, I'm definitely glad with what we had. Especially that Pogey episode. That was great. Monsters at Work is back for another season, and this time Tyler Tusquin is now a jokester, only to find that the position is a lot harder than he expected. We have a tale of corporate sabotage, of divided loyalties, plus we get to see other companies outside of Monsters Incorporated, so that's a nice win for world building. So on that merit alone, I would recommend Monsters at Work Season 2 to any Monsters Incorporated fans. The quality is pretty much unchanged from the first season, with solid animation and solid character writing all around. Oh, and Mike and Sully are as entertaining as always, of course. And things end up building towards a surprisingly intense climax. So yeah, Monsters at Work Season 2. I would definitely recommend it to fans of this franchise.
Every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Baby Reindeer is uncomfortable, intense, emotional. The performances from the two main actors are excellent, and this is a harrowing, severely compelling watch throughout, and I definitely recommend it. I was not expecting the Tales of the Jedi anthology to return like this, but Tales of the Empire is a welcome addition to the growing catalogue of Lucasfilm animation. With 6 episodes, 3 episodes focusing on the backstory of Morgan Elsbeth, something I greatly welcome seeing after having seen her in 2 different live-action shows now. And the last 3 episodes are telling us what happened to Barra Sophie, something us Clone Wars fans have been wondering about for a decade, and this half of the show really doesn't disappoint. The animation is as gorgeous as always, and the stories are compelling and go to some pretty dark places, as we can expect from the Tales of the Empire. So yeah, this show is definitely a welcome May the 4th treat, and I definitely recommend it to any Star Wars fans out there.
I hate every ape I see, from chimpanzee to chimpanzee. No, you'll never make a monkey out of me.
I was not expecting a new installment in the Planet of the Apes reboot series, and considering that the last three are my favourite film trilogy of the 2010s, I can safely say that my excitement was through the roof. And luckily, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is a worthy follow-up to that amazing trilogy, with a brand new, likable cast of characters and some amazing digital effects, taking things to an even further level than the already impressive effects of the original three. Plus, we get a diabolical new villain who's entertaining to watch when we do finally meet him. Plus, we really get to see what a Planet of Apes would be like, and honestly, it's just so nice to watch. Also, we leave things on a very tantalizing potential for the future, and I am definitely going to be there when we finally see what comes next in this series. When was the last time we had a solid live action film for all the family on the big screen? I did not know I needed If, but now that I've seen it, I can honestly say that it was a delight to watch from start to finish, with a very solid emotional hook and some gorgeous special effects. Seriously, the animation on the imaginary friends is just marvelous to behold, with all the detail and variety of art styles while still managing to look delightfully cartoon. We have great performances from our leads and some very compelling themes that ended up really resonating with me. And while the Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends comparison is obvious, I can gladly report that If does feel like its own entity, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone of all ages. LEGO Dreams is back for a second season, continuing the stories of the Dream Chasers, and this time we get to see a lot more of the Night Bureau and how they operate, and specifically in the form of a stern authority figure who doesn't like our protagonists. The Neverwitch is so far proving to be a good villain for our heroes to go up against, and the season has given us some engaging character arcs so far. Oh, and that one Zoe specific plot twist? Totally called it. And this show had no right going as hard as it did for its cliffhanger ending. I'm serious. Get me part 2 now!
Yes. But stick with me, baby, you'll go far. I'll make you shine like the brightest star.
There's a new animated movie based on a book by the same guy who gave us The Bad Guys. Sign me up. So, Velma the Unicorn. This is a story we've seen plenty of times before, with a moral we've all seen in plenty of other films, but the performances are still engaging enough, and the animation is fun and zippy. Plus, there's just a casual weirdness to the setting that is definitely right up my street, so I could definitely enjoy it on that merit alone. So yeah, Velma the Unicorn isn't exactly groundbreaking in terms of animated movies, but yeah, I'd still say there's something about it worth watching. You know, if this kind of thing is up your alley. So, why isn't this a Nickelodeon movie? Regardless of my confusion, the Garfield movie has proven to be a pretty solid outing for America's favourite overweight tabby, somehow managing to find a way to get him to go on an adventure without sacrificing his lazy personality. And while I still haven't quite decided on how I feel about Chris Pratt as Garfield, he at least feels like he's giving a different flavour to his acting instead of just doing the same old Chris Pratt thing, which is what I was hoping for in the first place. The rest of the cast is also good, the animation is snappy, vibrant and entertaining, and the story does go to some pretty compelling places at points. So yeah, while this may not be the best animated movie of the year, it's definitely worth the watch all the same, and it's definitely better than the last Garfield movie I saw on the big screen. Man, I picked the right time to watch Camp Cretaceous. We got a sequel less than a year after I started watching it. So yeah, Chaos Theory continues the streak of quality that Camp Cretaceous set, and possibly going to some even darker places. Seriously, there were some moments where I ended up getting really tense throughout the whole thing, and that raptor handler lady is the scariest thing I've ever seen in this franchise. The character drama throughout is engaging, and honestly, it was just great seeing these guys as adults. Though while I do commend the show's willingness to go to some dark places, the premise might have been a bit too bold for its own good. Because, come on, there's no way a kid's show is gonna go that far. Also, be warned, this is one of those shows that's clearly got more in the works, so not every question you'll have will be answered by the end of this first season. But either way, the animated side of Jurassic World continues to be the best thing this franchise has given us since the first movie, and I definitely recommend Chaos Theory if you're a fan of Camp Cretaceous. Well, that was what I saw in May 2024, and this has been Overly Positive Reviews. Tune in next time for what I saw in June